Gyanvapi mosque case on Thursday, but more traces of temple are now surfacing, and also a pattern to bury the truth is emerging. After the 1936 British affidavit confirmed that Gyanvapi was not a mosque, today Times Now has accessed documented proof of Gyanvapi case. 1965 Gazette notification of the Uttar Pradesh government under the Congress rule admits that the Vishwanath temple was demolished by Aurangzeb. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, it was Congress that was in power in that state at that time. The notification claims that in 1669, Aurangzeb ordered the demolition of Hindu temples and schools. The notification goes on to state that temples razed included Vishwanath and Bindu Madhava temples. It also asserts that the mosque was built on the site of each of these, two high minarets being built on one. This clinching documents comes just a day after we revealed the 1936 British document that stated the mosque is on government land. And that is the latest proof to tumble out of the closet. And tonight, we want to ask the question on why there is a denial on all of these facts. And joining me on this debate, along with Gaurav Bhatia and Lokesh Jindal, are Shantanu Gupta, author, and Dr T A Rehmani, president of the MPCI. Dr. Rehmani, can it be denied? No. This is the Uttar Pradesh District Gazetteers, and it says very clearly here in its findings that Aurangzeb had destroyed this temple and the masjid was made over it. The minarets also came up over it later. So today, if anybody wants to say ye to mandir tha hi nahi, ye to hamesha se masjid tha, will you take back those words and will you finally at least admit that the proof that is being presented in courts is not a figment of anybody's imagination?
Navika, everything is in public domain. There are so many records which are already in public domain. Nobody can hide or nobody can reveal. It is there, it is present, and I never said that the Kashi Vishwanath temple for so many reasons was not demolished by the Aurangzeb. I never said it, and I will never say it. I'm a truthful person. But I want to say one more thing. That a vibrant nations do live in the present and look for the future. And the failed nations take refuge in the history. So we don't want to be a failed nation. We have to be a vibrant nation to live positively in the present era and to look in the future. The correction of the history is never a possible thing, and it never takes us, lead us to any success. That's what my contention is. I never said that the Kashi Vishwanath temple was not demolished. It was demolished by Aurangzeb.
So then,
this is a truth. But there were reasons. Can we have the courage to discuss those reasons?
About the Babri Masjid, क्यों वहाँ तो मस्जिद में नमाज होती भी नहीं थी, तो इतनी अटैचमेंट क्यों थी? वो तो पुराना था.
That was a different thing.
No, why different thing?
You cannot compare Babri Masjid with Kashi Vishwanath.
Why different? Everything that is dear to you is different. Everything that is dear to the other side is not different.
No,
Shantanu Gupta, for Dr. Rehmani today, who's walked into a trap saying that we are a modern country, we should live in the present. But their attachment to Babri Masjid is allowed even though there was no namaz.
And look for the future.
Respond to him.
Navika.
Yes.
Navika, I think I'll congratulate Professor Saab. At least he agreed finally that I think unless all the scholars, all the politicians from the Muslim side who ever came on any TV debate which we're doing from Ayodhya case to now, they always were in denial mode. कुछ तोड़ा ही नहीं है, बाबर तो आया नहीं था, कुछ तोड़ा ही नहीं था, औरंगजेब ने तो कुछ करा ही नहीं है, सब अच्छे थे, औरंगजेब महान था, अकबर महान था. At least he started agreeing now. I think that's first mammoth change. Now I think you should take an early flight tomorrow, go to Hyderabad and convince your friend, very good friend Asaduddin Owaisi कि अकबर ने तोड़ा था, बाबर ने तोड़ा था, सब ने तोड़ा था. So औरंगजेब ने तोड़ा था. I think first it's a very good acceptance by Rehmani ji. And now I think it's very easily, as soon as it will travel to the court, any court, from junior court to high court to Supreme Court, the verdict will follow the line as it followed in Ayodhya.
At least I am not a liar.
But thank you that you agreed finally. That needs courage. I know that needs courage within your own community. That needs courage.
I don't need to go anybody.
And hats off to you.
And
hats off to you, Rehmani, that you agreed finally that Aurangzeb was a terrorist. Aurangzeb was a terrorist. He broke multiple temples of Hindu faith. And good, and hats off to you that you agreed finally.
I'm not talking about every 3,000 mosques which
bottom line, Dr. Rehmani, you said we should live in the present. Then were you wrong when you were crying over your attachment with Babri Masjid? Were you wrong then? Simple question.
My attachment in Babri Masjid is still there. And I will
keep
it till my
even though we all live in the present, Hindus have attachment to the Kashi Vishwanath temple. How can you question that? How can you question that? How can you question Hindus' attachment to the Kashi Vishwanath temple? And let me get in Lokesh Jindal. Lokesh Jindal, I want to show you the Gazette notification. आप तो उस पार्टी से हैं जो कहते हैं कि वहां शिवलिंग नहीं फव्वारा मिला था, तो मैं इसका बता दूं आपको, यहां पर दिया हुआ है पेज नंबर 56 पर very clearly, when certain priests were harassed by local Muslim officers who also wanted to remove them from temples of which they were in charge, they appealed to the emperor, who issued a farman dated February 28, 1659 to the Faujdar of Varanasi to the effect that the priests of existing shrines were not to be disturbed in the legitimate discharge. In the same year, Aurangzeb got the old temple of Kirti Bisheshar destroyed and built on that side with its material the Alamgiri mosque, which stands near the temple. This was one, and the other references according to the Tarikhe.
So the Gyanvapi mosque was actually a Alamgiri mosque. The name of Gyanvapi mosque is an Alamgiri mosque or Jama Masjid Banaras. You must have to correct this here through this gazette.
ओहो, ज्ञानवापी आपने आलमगीरी से ज्ञानवापी आपने रखा था ना?
ये किसने रखा था वो भी गजट में है.
नहीं तो गैजेट में है, और गैजेट में मंदिर डिस्ट्रॉय करके मॉस्क बने ये भी आपको पता है. लेकिन आप कहते हैं आप मॉडर्न इंडिया में रहिए, आप पुरानी बातें मत पूछिए. लोकेश जिंदल, why would you still call it a fountain when all of these evidences are in front of you?
Navika, I would like to ask one question. If you talk about the Brihadeshwar temple, the Shivling, it was brought by Raja after defeating the Rashtrakutas. Now please tell me, tomorrow if the Rashtrakutas territory from Manyakhet, they start demanding the Shivling, would you be accompanying by it? Would you agree when the Shaivites, they persecuted the Jains? When Pushyamitra Shung, he persecuted the Buddhists? Would you be again restructuring when the Shaivites and the Vaishnavites, they were fighting with each other? How far will it go? Please tell me. How far are you going to take this conflict? Are you going to simply limit it to Aurangzeb?
Well,
or are you going to go?
I think the Hindu side very clearly told you that Ayodhya, Kashi and Mathura, and after that close it, but you didn't. You trampled on their demands. Gaurav Bhatia, is the Congress party pretending it doesn't know where the Hindus wanted to stop this? Where the Hindus wanted to stop this? Is he now saying that these are new demands that have come up? Gaurav Bhatia, please respond to Mr. Lokesh Jindal.
You know, Navika, first of all, historical wrongs have to be corrected, going by rule of law. But the sad part is, the self-proclaimed Muslim party, which is the Congress party, its senior leader, Ashok Gehlot, what did he say? He said, Tamasha band karo. Tamasha. Can you be quiet, please? Please. Navika, this is very unfair. I think he's a very ill-mannered panelist.
Please, I've already told you, the man has a sore throat. Please do not challenge him. Please. 1 minute. You want to respond? I'll give you time. Gaurav Bhatia, go on.
Navika, I was just pointing out Ashok Gehlot shamelessly saying that ye tamasha band karo. P. Chidambaram saying the status should not be altered. Would they have the courage to say this to the Muslims? No, they wouldn't. And how they divide the Hindus by talking about Lingayats, Shaivites, Vaishnavites. Would you have the courage to ever talk about Sunnis, Shias, Ahmadiyas, Barelvis? No, you wouldn't. Because unka vote bank pura chahiye. Hindus ko divide karna hai. Coming to Mr. Taslim Rehmani, he says vibrant nations don't live in the past. Do you remember how many people celebrated when a museum was converted to a mosque, Hagia Sophia? And India has nothing to do with the Hagia Sophia mosque. But these people were celebrating in India. Navika, they preach something else, but they practice just the opposite. And that is the problem with these people. And they do not have faith in the judiciary of the country. If law-abiding Hindus are going by the constitution and asking for their rights, why are these people pained?
That's the whole point. The matter is in courts. The hearing comes up on the 26th of May. What proofs will prevail, what the courts will decide is really something that we will all need to wait for. But those who are not willing to compromise on their own faith, can they expect others to give up theirs? That's what this is all about. So should we just wait for how the Apex Court and the Varanasi courts address this whole issue, the whole claims made by both sides, and give its verdict? Because in a law-abiding country, people will have to go with the letter of the law. Before I leave you, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes I feel poets and those who can say it in poetry say it better than anyone else. This is one piece of poetry written by Manoj Muntashir and just uploaded a short while ago on social media that caught my eye. I wanted to just share it with you, ladies and gentlemen. Manoj Muntashir.
मस्जिद है या शिवाला ये सच बता ही देंगे, पूछेगी जब अदालत पत्थर गवाही देंगे। हम जोड़ने के कायल, तुम तोड़ने में माहिर, मेहमान तुमको माना और तुमने हमको काफिर। बस ये बता दो खंजर क्यों पीठ में उतारा, क्यों सोमनाथ तोड़ा, मथुरा को क्यों उजाड़ा। शंकर का जुर्म क्या था, कान्हा ने क्या किया था, वनवास राम जी को बाबर ने क्यों दिया था। 1300 साल हमने यही सोचते गुजारे, क्यों गर्दनें उतारी, क्यों फूके घर हमारे। सारी जवाबदेही तय होगी धीरे धीरे, हर हर का नाद होगा गंगा नदी के तीरे। सोया हुआ सनातन चैतन्य है, सजग है, वो वक्त कुछ अलग था, ये वक्त कुछ अलग है। खबरों से खींच कर हम लाएंगे सच तुम्हारे, आएंगे कटघरे में औरंगजेब सारे। सारा हिसाब एक दिन जिल्ले इलाही देंगे, पूछेगी जब अदालत पत्थर गवाही देंगे।